Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. With the price of just about everything going up during inflation, we thought we'd bring our prices down. So to help us, we brought in a reverse auctioneer, which is apparently a thing.
Mint Mobile Unlimited Premium Wireless. How to get 30, 30, bit to get 30, bit to get 20, 20, 20, bit to get 20, 20, bit to get 15, 15, 15, 15, just $15 a month? Sold!
Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
$45 upfront payment equivalent to $15 per month. New customers on first 3-month plan only. Taxes and fees extra. Speed slower above 40 gigabytes. See detail.
The number one selling product of its kind with over 20 years of research and innovation. Botox Cosmetic, out of botulinum toxin A, is a prescription medicine used to temporarily make moderate to severe frown lines, crow's feet, and forehead lines look better in adults.
Effects of Botox Cosmetic may spread hours to weeks after injection, causing serious symptoms. Alert your doctor right away as difficulty swallowing, speaking, breathing, eye problems, or muscle weakness may be a sign of a life-threatening condition. Patients with these conditions before injection are at highest risk. Don't receive Botox Cosmetic if you have a skin infection. Side effects may include allergic reactions, injection site pain, headache, eyebrow and eyelid drooping, and eyelid swelling. Allergic reactions can include rash, welts, asthma symptoms, and dizziness. Tell your doctor about medical history, muscle or nerve conditions including ALS or Lou Gehrig's disease, myasthenia gravis, or Lambert-Eaton syndrome and medications, including botulinum toxins, as these may increase the risk of serious side effects. For full safety information, visit BotoxCosmetic.com or call 877-351-0300.
See for yourself at BotoxCosmetic.com.
What is going on, everyone? Welcome to Armchair Scouts. Today we are breaking down Georgia versus Ole Miss, talking top Eagles draft targets you need to know to sound smarter than everyone else. Joining me, he is Ryan Reese at Philly Sports PSA. What's up, Ryan?
Not much, man. Ready to talk about a big SEC game this weekend after we had a slate of Big Ten games last weekend. So it's nice to go down south and get some football on.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's a huge weekend for the SEC. Alabama also plays LSU, which could be another game of the week. Quite honestly, that's basically 1B, I think, at least on my end, with Garrett Nussmeier and Caden Durham for LSU, and then, of course, Jalen Milroe. Like, this is it for Alabama. If they lose to LSU, they're cooked. Yeah. So, wild game. But, guys, if you're watching us live, please be sure to comment your thoughts on college football and your favorite Eagles draft targets to know. We are going to start off with our favorite Eagles draft targets to watch. I'll lead us off in this one. I'm going to go with a guy that a lot of people don't really know about. He made my top 10 rankings for the edge rusher. I typically go with guys that are like 6'5", 6'6", guys that are taller on the edge. But that's not necessarily the Eagles' MO. But this guy has been putting up monster stats. We talked previously from, high risers like Kyle Kennard of South Carolina. We're going to talk about another high riser, and his name is Donovan Eziraku out of Boston College. Not a lot of people know about this guy, but he's one of the most polished pass rushers in the country. He's got a whole bag of tricks. He had 34 pressures last year. He's already topped that this year. He's an alignment versatile prospect. He's got amazing bend, amazing pursuit. He's got experience aligning with his hand in the dirt, standing up. I think that versatility definitely will intrigue the Philadelphia Eagles. Concern-wise, he's not an elite athlete. He doesn't have great strength. He definitely limits his upside as a pure pass rusher. And in the run game, he can struggle to disengage off of blocks. But again, this is one of the biggest high risers in the class, and the guy that I think everyone should know. I have a day 2 grade on him, and I think there's real chance that he could maybe sneak into day 1. So make sure you keep an eye out for Donovan Eziraku as a guy that has elite versatility to go inside and out. And he goes up. Oh, he's also looking to become the first Boston College edge rusher drafted since Zach Allen in 2019. So major shout out to Donovan Ezaraku. Have you heard of this guy, Ryan?
I have not.
Yeah.
So that's always good to find somebody that I don't know anything about, and I'll now kind of dive in and see what there is to see about him, which is the beauty of this show.
Yeah, he is like who's the guy that played for Illinois, the defensive tackle last year? That Illinois didn't really have a good team, but he was dominant, and he was a first-round pick. And I'm not saying Ezaraku is a first-round pick, but I'm saying like he just pops off the tape every time you watch him.
Yeah. No.
Yeah. Johnny Newton. So
yeah.
Who's your Eagles target of the week?
So I kind of also went with a slightly undersized, if you will, edge rusher. And I went with Ashton Galat out of Louisville. This is a guy who can kind of play all over the line. He's 6'3", 275, defensive end from Louisville, coming out of Boca Raton, Florida, as a 3-star recruit. But he has steadily improved every single year while at Louisville. I'm sorry. He was also ACC first team last year. In fact, second team All-American. And he's also an ACC All-American academic as well. So anybody who knows anything about the ACC, there's some pretty smart people down there in those schools. So, but this guy is, pretty dominant right now. He led last year all ACC with 11 sacks, 14 and a half tackles for loss, 45 total tackles, three forced fumbles. So far this year, I think he's at 34 tackles right now. He's got 2.5 sacks. And he's, looking really good as well. This is a guy that can absolutely dominate the line of scrimmage. He's a guy that has exceptional power and certainly knows how to use it. In fact, he was Bruce Feldman's number 58 on the freak list when he added, he over his last year to this year added about a dozen or so pounds. He's bulked up, but he still is able to hit almost 20 miles per hour and jump over 36 inches. So this guy is absolutely just not only just a bull, but he can move around you like a bullfighter. So this guy has high motor, great hands, violent hands. And in fact, he's known for kind of his swatting away of blockers, and is just kind of able to win with technique. He's a smart, versatile defender who's honestly, he really seems to shine in the run game. But he's able to get after the quarterback as well. So he's got great instinctive counter moves and great pursuit. I will say, again, some of the knocks on him, he's not, the 6'5" and up, edge rusher here, but I think his athleticism, his just freak nature, if you will, kind of, counteracts that, and is really able to, be a force in the run game and set that edge. But he does need to do that a little bit more consistently. And again, he's not going to be a guy that is going to have a sexy swim move past a defender. He's going to be more of a bull rush kind of guy, but he does have that ability. Just needs to kind of work on that technique to kind of further his draft stock. And yeah, I think honestly right now I think he could be anywhere in the top 10 of edge rushers, or as low in the top 15, top 20. So, depending on the need, I could certainly see him being a probably solid mid to late day 2 kind of guy. But with the combine coming up, he's one of those guys that will jump off paper. and can easily improve his draft stock to maybe, just maybe, sneak into that first round.
He's a big reason that exemplifies the beauty of the NFL draft. Not a guy I've looked into heavily, I'll be honest. He didn't make my top 10 edge rushers, and I just Googled him, and a major media outlet has him as an early second-round pick. So it's amazing. The NFL draft continues to – it's so variable.
Well, and I gotta say that's the beauty of not only for us doing this show. You just gave me a name that I'm going to look into. And even when we were looking at who I was, going to talk about tonight, I had heard of this guy, but I hadn't really seen much tape on him. So listen, at lunchtime work throughout this week, I kind of, been looking at him and, my spare time and really kind of diving in and really saw some of the qualities there that I think can translate into the NFL. And again, I think with a lot more of, technique teaching that next level, he can utilize that athleticism because he has the smarts. He's a coachable, teachable player. He's improved every single year he's been in LSU. He's just a guy that works hard, and you see that when you watch his tape.
I am somewhat shocked you decided to use him for this week. They do have a somewhat big matchup with the Pittsburgh Panthers on November 23rd, and I'm shocked you used him now instead of then.
Well, listen, I'm not going to jinx it and talk highly about somebody, right? As they're playing the Panthers. Oh, come on.
That could be a huge game in the ACC.
It absolutely will be. Pitt is exceeding all expectations. And if they can just get by these next few opponents, I think an ACC championship is well within reach.
Yep. All right, let's get into our game of the week. Georgia versus Ole Miss. Leading off, you got to start with Carson Beck. I think that's the biggest question mark heading into this thing. Which Carson Beck shows up? Will the real Carson Beck please stand up? He's looked extremely vulnerable lately. He came up clutch last week in the fourth quarter against Florida to tie up the game, but he also had 2 picks that were really bad. This is a guy that went from top-notch prospect to somewhat being a liability. His accuracy has not been great. There's been some awful decision-making, and you look at Ole Miss, and they have to be salivating at the prospect of going after this guy. The Rebels defense had 8 sacks last week against Arkansas, which now leads the country with 41. Guys to know, Princely Umanmiel. He is a first-round prospect, 6'5", 255 pounds, elite length. He will dominate the combine. You have to know that guy. Big-time Eagles target. Absolutely need to know him. On the other side, Jared Ivey continues to make big play after big play. Not necessarily the talent of Umanmielen, but maybe more polished. He is a major playmaker. He can set the edge. 6'6", 285. I love Jared Ivey. He seems to be more consistent than Princely Umanmielen. And then on the interior, they have another guy in Walter Nolan, 6'4", 290. A guy that could be another, first round 2 kind of defensive tackle. So this is a Rebels defense that's currently number 2 in the nation in sacks. So this defensive line versus Carson Beck is without a doubt the biggest matchup to watch from my standpoint.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And listen, Ole Miss has certainly missed some opportunities here. In this season, it was kind of, everyone was kind of expecting them to be players here for the expanded playoff, but they still have a shot. And honestly, they're holding on, and that's why they absolutely need this game. Coming out and beating a Georgia team. will absolutely get them noticed back once again into the college football playoff here. And, they defeated and destroyed an Arkansas team who has been very tough against some of the greats of the SEC. And, so they're coming off of 2 straight victories, one of Oklahoma and Arkansas. So that, they're kind of riding high a little bit here. And they got a tough schedule to close out Florida and Mississippi State as well. So, if they want a shot here, this is where it's going to have to be. And you're right. It's all going to come from the defense, kind of picking apart I got to say a Georgia team that looks a little inconsistent right now. It seems like one quarter to, one half to the next, they look like kind of a different, football team. They obviously dominated and looked great against, Texas, but struggled a little bit against Florida. So, we, as you said, I wonder which kind of Georgia offense we're going to get. But I will say one thing about the Ole Miss offense is they are electric. They are fun to watch. Trey Harris is one of my absolute favorite wide receivers. In fact, I did a mock draft where I think I grabbed him in the second round for the Birds after I grabbed who did I get for James Pierce in the first round. So, and then I finished up with third round. I got Tyler Warren, so we're all set. Don't worry, I fixed the Birds. But this guy is absolutely a dog. He is so fun to watch. He is just a dude that is such a vertical threat. High points. He's just so fun to watch. In fact, everybody in that Ole Miss offense is a blast to watch. So it's shocking that they're not higher ranked, and they've stumbled a little bit against Kentucky, and I think it was LSU they lost to as well. But if they want a shot, they absolutely need to get this game. And right now they are favorites at home by 1.5. So that should tell you a lot, considering Georgia is, number 3 in the nation currently. So, it should be an absolute dogfight, and I expect this to go down to the wire.
I don't know if it's a hot take or not, but you look at the top wide receivers in this draft. Obviously, you start with T-Mac, and then you go to maybe some debatable, arguable names like Travis Hunter. I'm going to go Trey Harris before I go Luther Burden.
Wow.
Yeah, I really like Trey Harris. Like, I think he's a modern NFL wide receiver. I think he can do it all. He's so good. And I don't know if he gets the respect he deserves.
Oh, he absolutely doesn't. You're absolutely right. And, it's funny. I was in the mock draft I was doing. They actually had trying to think of how it played out, but I am like 99% sure that they had his teammate
Juice Wells.
Yes, thank you. Higher up on the board there, and I was just like, all right, like I got it. Like, Wells is exciting, but my God, Harris, already has 60 catches, almost 1,000 yards. I just don't know how you can go wrong with this guy. He's an god. I mean, the whole offense. I mean, from Dart to Parrish Jr. to Harris to their tight end, Caden.
He's good.
So good. And then you have Juice there as well. So it's a fun offense.
Yeah.
And like you just mentioned too, like so many great names on defense as well. So this was definitely one of my favorite teams heading into this college football season. And I'm a little disappointed that they've lost a few last but 2 out of the last, I think, 5, but still, if they want a shot at the playoffs, it's there. It's just they need to win out, and Georgia's standing in their way.
Yeah, I will be pounding the table for Ole Miss in the college football playoff if they make it. I'm a big believer in their ability to get to the quarterback and hit explosive plays. Real quick on Georgia, Tate Ratledge, one of the best interior offensive linemen. Definitely need to know him. Jalen Walker, he's an edge linebacker, arguably the best player on Georgia right now. He is a junior, but he's kind of the Swiss Army knife of that defense. Can play on the D line, can play linebacker. He does it all for Georgia. He is the guy. So I feel like he is the heart and soul of that Georgia defense. Michael Williams hasn't had that dominant season we are all hoping he would.
Yeah,
he has been coming on strong as of late. Keep an eye on him. And then Malachi Starks. He is arguably safety one in this draft. Again, not really having a dominant season. The Georgia defense has shown some vulnerability. So keep an eye on Malachi Starks. I think Ole Miss wins this. I do. I'm not a believer in the Georgia Bulldogs, and I could look stupid, as I always do, in a few days from now. But give me Ole Miss. I think Ole Miss has too many weapons, and I like their defense more than I do the Georgia defense. So I think at the end of the day, I think Ole Miss is a better team. Who are you going with?
Yeah, listen, this is tough because as I said, I'm a huge fan of Ole Miss, and I something's telling me the fact that they're making them a 1.5 favorite at home. I would have assumed it would have been a big Georgia line. So I'll go with you on this one. I'll go with an Ole Miss.
All right.
I mean, listen, it's not only what I'm rooting for, it's kind of what the line is telling me anyway. Let's go running Rebels, baby. Let's take down the Georgia Bulldogs.
Again, Princely, Munmielen, Walter Nolan, Jared Ivey, all that trio forcing Carson Beck into some bad decision making. I think it will be the difference. In this one. All right, let's wrap it up. Final thoughts, Ryan. Plugs. Time is yours, man.
Yeah, listen. You can follow me right here on X at Philly Sports PSA. You okay there?
I'm blurry.
You are blurry. Oh, that's weird. Listen. If I'm not doing a show at Deibs, I don't know what I'm doing, honestly. But you can catch me. Is it me it's losing, or is it you?
Oh no, it's me. I'm back.
Okay. So Mondays, I do a football smack talk show, which we're kind of in hiatus right now. We don't really know. We don't really have a home, so we're kind of chilling. But Party on Broad on Mondays at 9 with this guy and our good buddy Rob. It was good to be back. I was off a couple of weeks due to work stuff, being away. And then, of course, Tuesdays, Birds of the Round Table and Armchair Scouts on the Eagles Pinpull Network. If you have not liked, followed, and shared that, please do. Anywhere where you get your podcasts. It's on YouTube. It's on Facebook, Eagles Pinpull Network. So please find us, follow us, share them with your friends. We got a lot of great shows coming up, throughout the week, and a lot of great people. So we could use all the support we can get, and we appreciate it.
All right. Final thoughts, plugs. I'm Deibs, Mr. Crockpot. You can find me in bed sleeping for the next 10 hours. Nice. This is my third show of the night. I am out. And he is Ryan Reese at Philly Sports PSA. Guys, we will see you, of course, for halftime and post game between the Eagles and the Cowboys. Always a fun time. Thank you, everyone, for watching. We'll see you on the next one. Stay awesome, everyone.